Welcome to ChefD TV. Today we're going to get you out of your comfort zone and make you more comfortable in buying different cheeses. So here we are at the new Vincenzo's in the world of cheese. Now, when they come into your store, they're going to see a whole lot of hard cheeses, soft cheeses, cheeses that are aged in caves, and there's a little intimidation there.
The great thing about cheese is the opportunity to let everybody taste it. So when customers come in, we strongly encourage people to taste the cheese. This is like the conductor of the symphony here. We get to sort of do a little taste and broaden your horizons, get a chance to try it, because there's literally thousands of varieties of cheeses, and they're all regionally produced and very unique to every region. Probably our biggest selling cheese is Parmigiano Reggiano. There's a huge amount of what they call grana cheeses, which is all sort of this type of cheese, which has the granulars in it and it's aged. If you really want something that has the full flavor, you're actually going to use less of it because of the flavor to it. Reggiano is the way to go. It's more than just a grating cheese, it's an eating cheese, so having it with sprinkle a little bit of honey on it is just a wonderful way to have it, or even a little bit of a good quality balsamic vinegar drizzled onto it. It's a beautiful combination. Again, it exposes people to a whole other way of having their cheeses. It really captures a bit of the culture of where the cheese is from. That's one wonderful thing about cheese. It's so much a product of its environment, from the land, from the sea, from everything that goes on it, so you can really capture an essence of where the
and different flavors of what the animals have been eating as well. And you have cheeses here that have sheep's milk, goat's milk, cow's milk, raw milk. You have your organic here now. So there's a whole gamut of different cheeses.
When they see such a great selection, they go, oh my gosh, there's so much there. What do I do? I'm normally used to seeing marbled cheese, but our job here is to sort of comfort you in saying, yes, we have those, but boy, you're just barely scraping the surface when it comes to cheese. Most people are comfortable with cheddars.
Right.
So we try to let them work their way up the ladder into the 2-year and the 3-year and 4-year and 5-year. You just get a real sense of different texture, that's the mouthfeel to it, because you just don't get that oiliness.
No, you don't. You get that real dry, crunchy, absolutely gorgeous.
That's correct. And there's unfortunately ways that you can make cheese inexpensive, and that usually really deters from the quality of the product. So a lot of inexpensive cheeses, if you get this fabulous price on 2 pounds of cheddar for $5, literally if you were to take that product and put it in your hands and warm it up, it'll turn to oil on you, where a good quality cheddar won't do that. It's all about the milk at that point.
When we were in Seattle filming Hidden Gems, we had the great opportunity of making our own open-air aged cheddar. Well, it's actually Beecher's cheddar, but I'm calling it my own. We actually got to see the process from start to finish.
This is the process of cheddaring, basically. You can tell people you've cheddared from now on. Every 15 minutes, they flip these over, and what happens, the table is a little bit heated, and they stretch out. And what it's doing is expelling whey. That's how cheddar gets its texture. It's folded over on itself. It'll get about 2 hours of table time, and then we'll put it through that mill right there, and it'll grind it into those curd pieces, more or less. So Daryl, pop quiz. How much salt do you think we put in a vat?
20 pounds?
30 pounds, actually. You're good. Most people are like 5 pounds. It takes 30 pounds of salt for 1,000 pounds of curd. After the salt soaks in, then it's time for the part you've been waiting for.
7 months from now, we're going to be able to taste how that open air changes the different flavors from me eating the curd to me eating the cheddar.
We've just purchased a huge amount for opening here of our wonderful Quebec 7-year-old cheddar, which is just a fabulous product, and we got it at a really good price. So I'm going to let you try a little bit here.
I'm going to hate that. Aged cheddar is one of my favorites.
If you get into this one here, you'll just be able to notice the little, almost the crunchiness of that, of it's crystallized from the age there.
People think, what kind of cheese would I use for a sauce? Right there.
Often the next one will go up to just something a little bit different. This is called Applewood. This is a wonderful English cheese, and this is a smoked cheese from England. And this is a territorial cheese. So in the category of things like Caerphilly and Cheshire, which are all sort of the cheddars of each county in England. And smokiness, again, is just something a little bit different. So if you've never really had, Yon cheddar and marble, going into a smoked cheddar, it's something that a lot of people, it's an easy sort of progression into what their palate is.
And just as it tempers a little bit, but right away the smoke comes right out of it, and then you finish with that nice cheddar smoothness. You could even stuff a chicken breast with some of that.
Sure, yeah.
And you have a great little piece of paper. It's a guide to serving cheese and wine, and it has all your cheeses listed. It tells you when you should eat it, or how long it's been aged, or where it's been aged. So, Carmen, if I was putting a tray together, what would kind of wow my guests, but I don't want to scare my guests either?
You want to pick it from different categories. So pick one of those sort of basic cheddars that you want. You want to have something there's always going to be something there for somebody. Cheddars usually are pretty safe to go with. Sometimes the colored ones work out well, just to add some contrast. Something creamy. So Brie's always the sort of the classic one to go with. A blue cheese and a goat cheese is sort of the third choice, and most people go for one or the other because not everybody are blue cheese fans, not everyone's goat cheese fans. The real favorite for us lately is this wonderful Canadian cheese called Cendrillon, and this actually won the worldwide championship in the cheese festival this year. So this is actually the worldwide champion. First time a Canadian cheese has done it. So this is an aged goat cheese.
Wow.
With a little bit of ash on it. The nice thing what's happening now is Canada is stopped making replicas of other cheeses from Canadian Swiss, Canadian Parmesan. This is something that's uniquely Canadian.
That's just got so much great flavor, and it gets out of your comfort zone because most people wouldn't want to buy something they perceive that's moldy.
Well, that's what a lot of people think. So what's that on? Well, that's actually the ash, and that was just tradition from in France when you would often take the chestnut leaves and stuff like that. They would burn that, and it's decorative more than anything. You don't really taste a lot of it, but it's the decorative part. And on a tray, if you really want to get something that's not all the sort of pale color, which what most cheeses are, it does create a bit of a tension onto a tray. The other option then is a firm cheese.
Right.
So again, you could go into something like a nice cave-aged Gruyere. Here we have the Premier Cru, which is the cave-aged Swiss Gruyere. You'll see this the difference in the complexity of the flavor, and it just adds a whole nother appeal to it.
Well, agreed. It has a whole, like, 2 different layers of flavors happening.
And the great cheeses again of the world that are cave-aged, the Gruyere, the Roquefort, the Stiltons, they're just wonderful cheeses, and really it's tough to replicate that outside of the cave nowadays.
Carmen, I really appreciate learning some more about cheeses and getting out of the comfort zone. Here's to great eating. This is Chef Daryl for ChefD TV.